Heavens are telling, please. What time are we close? 54.
You're still watching over there, right? What are you going to play for the grand entry? Fanfare? New concert?
You want to? We can. We
are you going to do the... Also, Syracuse, you know that?
Yeah, we can.
What were you planning to do for the entrance?
I was doing pomp and circumstance when I met.
For the fanfare, we'll do the scotch. Okay, here we go. We got time. Boom, 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 boom. What? Brewster. Oh. Very fast. Got it? Think she's ready. Here we go. 2, ready?
Sorry, I don't know where it is. There it is. Found it. 1, 2, 3.
afternoon and welcome to the 173rd commencement on the campus of Ohio Wesleyan University. I invite you to stand and join music major Catherine Koshin of the class of 2018 in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets would glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
4 years ago, when we prayed together for the first time, we stood in this space, and I prayed this prayer for you and your parents. And since then, we have prayed together in so many different ways, for many different occasions. But today, I return to our first prayer together. And again, I ask you to stand and turn to your parents and friends and faculty and co-workers, each a significant other in your journey, many who have become like parents to you as well. And as you gaze upon them, you pray with your eyes wide open. Let us pray. That night, she gave a labor-laden cry. And then they held this newborn in their arms. All the charms and harms of family, now 2 decades thick with memory. And all the tears and tears of childhood, skinned up knees, and egg-shelled egos cracked with fragile fears and brilliant, shining hope. The scope of future dreams now underway. Today we give a labor-laden sigh, and with open arms and hearts, we say goodbye. And all the charms and harms of growing up, now 2 decades far too quickly gone, they stand before you here today, O God. We bid your blessing on their family. We bid your blessing on this passage rite and give you thanks for all that's yet to be. Shalom, Salam, Shanti, Shanti, Namaste. Amen.
On behalf of the faculty and staff, it is my deep honor to welcome all of you today with a special welcome for the families and friends of our graduating seniors, and with our heartiest congratulations to the 383 graduates who sit before us today. Graduates, this is your day. You've worked long and hard to complete the journey that brings you to this moment. Today, gathered beneath ancient trees and surrounded by historic buildings where students and faculty have learned with one another for more than 175 years, you join the ranks of educated citizens as alumni of Ohio Wesleyan University. Today marks the completion of your undergraduate education, but in many ways, your lifelong education has only begun. With the benefits of a liberal arts education, you have honed the capacities for lifelong learning that prepare you for leadership in a rapidly changing world. You have learned to think critically and analytically, to communicate thoughtfully and persuasively, to listen empathetically to a plethora of perspectives, and to value beauty. Here you have developed relationships that will nurture a lifetime. Here you have engaged passions that will ignite your intellectual creativity and fuel your passion and pursuit for a better life. Here you have confronted injustice and made commitments to strive for a more humane world. Here you have encountered what it means to be a global citizen. 2/3 of you spent time outside of your home country as a part of your OU experience. One of you traveled to 15 countries. You've worked with the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland. You studied the berimbau, a musical instrument with a heritage in Angola and its impact on the culture of Brazil. And you traveled with faculty and travel learning courses to 24 countries. Together, you elected a classmate from Afghanistan to serve for 3 years on our Board of Trustees. Here, you encountered the world. You became the OU connection. And as one of you said to me recently, here on this campus, you grew up. As you prepare to leave Ohio Wesleyan, I pause for a moment to consider the impact you've had on this campus. You leave a lasting legacy here at OU. As student leaders, you advocated for a greater commitment to diversity and inclusion. SIAC, the Student Inclusion Advocacy Committee, is your creation and your legacy. You participated in the design of the new buildings housing the SLU community, and you watched the reopening of Merrick Hall and of the Simpson Quarry Fitness Center. You are passionate and articulate advocates for the future of the House of Black Culture. You witnessed one of the most acrimonious and divisive presidential campaigns in our nation's history, and while you represented both sides of the political aisle, you did so with civility, understanding, engagement, and a shared commitment to the values of democracy too rarely seen today. You launched the Latin American Space for Enrichment and Research, LASER, and Hispanic and Latino X Outreach, HALO, the International Queer Film Festival, and the Wrestling Club, which will now become a varsity sport. You reimagined the Modern Foreign Language House as the House of Linguistic Diversity, HOLD, and the Women's House as the Sexual and Gender Equity House, SAGE. You participated in the March for Science, the Women's March, and the March for Life. You achieved success and recognition in athletic competition, and you touched our hearts and challenged our minds with your artistic performances and creations. You enriched campus life with new traditions, including this week's final lap, which will become a favorite of OU students for years to come. Yes, you have made your mark on this campus, and you will not soon be forgotten. 4 years ago, when most of you began your journey here, we talked about an education that prepares moral leaders for a global society. We talked about the challenges your generation will inherit and the ways in which an OU education would prepare you to meet those challenges. When I welcomed you to Ohio Wesleyan, I reminded you that our charter, written 175 years ago, sets as our mission the commitment to liberal education, to serving a diverse student body represented in our charter by a commitment to religious diversity, and to quote, an education designed for the benefit of our citizens in general. At the time, I told you my interpretation of an education designed for the benefit of citizens in general. It's an education that is not just about you. Rather, it is about the impact that you will have on the world. It's about what you will do as entrepreneurs and artists, as leaders in business, public service, and healthcare, and as engaged citizens. It's about your role as moral leaders in a global society. And so today, at a time when there is much distress in our world, I rise as an optimist. I rise as an optimist who sees in you the potential for a more just world, a more civil society, and a more protected planet. As I think about your commitments, I am reminded again of the pledge signed for more than 3 decades on this campus by students of Dr. Ben Arneson. The Arneson Pledge stated, with a view to serving the public interest, and regardless of the nature of my future vocation, I pledge that upon leaving college, I will devote a portion of my time to active and definite participation in public affairs. I challenge you to make the pledge your own, to consider the ways in which you will devote a portion of your time to public affairs, to making the world a better place. You are the threads in the fabric of our society. Be strong. Be vibrant. Be connected. To the parents, families, and others of friends who are gathered here, I offer our collective gratitude for your role in shaping the lives of these graduates. And to our seniors, I offer my and our wholehearted congratulations. You will be missed on this campus, but we will be following you, and we will be watching for the ways you fulfill the highest aspirations of OWU wherever you go and whatever you do. Congratulations on this, your day. Godspeed. It is now my great pleasure to introduce as the representative of our Board of Trustees, a 9-year member of the board and the current chair of the board's Finance Committee, Jeff Benton. After growing up as a 7th-generation resident of Delaware and graduating from Delaware's Hayes High School and the Miami University, Jeff enjoyed a long and successful career in the banking industry, serving 3 decades in executive positions, including 7 years as president of the Delaware County Bank and Trust. But one successful career wasn't enough for Jeff. He moved on to public service, and beginning in 2015, he has brought his fiscal management experience to his new role as a Delaware County Commissioner. By the way, Jeff's parents were graduates of Ohio Wesleyan. I suspect students of Ben Arneson. Maybe he inherited the Arneson Pledge in this commitment to public service. It's not surprising that Jeff would retire into a career serving the community. He's long been an active leader and volunteer in Delaware, serving now or in the past as a board member of the Little Brown Jug Society, the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, the Central Ohio Symphony, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio, and many other organizations. Of course, he lives in Delaware with his wife Barb, where they have raised 4 sons. He is an ideal representative of the spirit of this wonderful community. And I'm very pleased to introduce to you Ohio Wesleyan trustee, Jeff Benton.
Well, thank you, President Jones. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I am very pleased to extend congratulations to the Ohio Wesleyan University class of 2017. The trustees join me in saluting you for your many accomplishments in the classroom, your extraordinary leadership outside the classroom, and your individual and collective commitments to making the world a better place. I am honored to be able to share commencement with you, and I wish you the best in the years ahead. Now it is my pleasure to join Provost Chuck Steinmetz in recognizing the recipients of this year's Faculty Awards. The first award is the Daniel E. Anderson Award for service based on commitment to the common good. This award is given only when an individual, through a lifetime of very special service, demonstrates a principled commitment to the common good of the campus and the greater Delaware community. Dr. Steinmetz will now present the recipient of the Daniel E. Anderson Award.
This year, the Daniel E. Anderson Award is being awarded posthumously to Dr. Kim Lance, Professor of Chemistry. Dr. Lance served Ohio Wesleyan University in many ways, but perhaps his most important lesson was to remind all of us that we should not take each other for granted and always value the importance of everyone's contribution in our community. At a later date, this award will be presented to Dr. Lance's family from his grateful Ohio Wesleyan family. Please join me once more in acknowledging Dr. Kim Lance.
The next award is the Bishop Herbert Welch Award for Scholarly or Artistic Achievement. It is given for distinguished scholarship or artistic achievement of an Ohio Wesleyan faculty member. The award is given for a distinguished body of work or for an individual accomplishment. Dr. Steinmetz will now come forward to present the recipient of the Welch Award for Scholarly or Artistic Achievement.
I am delighted to announce that the winner of the Welch Award for Scholarly Artistic Achievement is Robert Olmsted, Professor of English. Dr. Olmsted, please join me on the podium. Bob is one of America's most eminent writers. He's published works of astonishing quality at an impressively high rate. Bob has published 6 novels, and a 7th is forthcoming this year. A memoir, a short story collection, and a guide to writing. Further, he shared his writing passion with students through summer writing workshops in Florida and Portugal, offered as OWU Connection travel learning courses, or funded through Theory to Practice grants. His work has been published internationally with editions in Germany and in Great Britain, all to international acclaim. And it's been praised in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Kirkus Review, and on NPR. His recent trilogy of historic novels, Coal Black Horse, Far Bright Star, and The Coldest Night, has brought particularly intense critical acclaim and greater readership. In fact, he recently learned that a movie is being produced from his novel, Far Bright Star, with Joaquin Phoenix in the lead role and directed by Cassie Affleck. A colleague said of his work, "The novels are stunning. They possess a brooding force and a majestic intensity. Investigating the past, they present a tragic vision of American history that suggestively speaks to contemporary political realities." He is a major author and a credit to OWU. I am pleased to present this award to Robert Olmsted. Congratulations.
Our next award, the Sherwood Dodge Shankland Award for Encouragement of Teachers, was established and endowed in 1963 by the late William H. and Frances Shankland Ryan of Sacramento, California, to identify, encourage, and honor Ohio Wesleyan faculty members with high potential as teachers. The recipient is chosen by the Faculty Personnel Committee upon recommendation by the faculty, staff, students, and alumni. Dr. Steinmetz will now present the recipient of the Sherwood Dodge Shankland Award.
I am happy to announce that the winner of the Sherwood Dodge Shankland Award is Dr. Christopher Fink, Associate Professor of Health and Human Kinetics. Dr. Fink, please join me on the podium. Dr. Fink is that faculty member who pays close attention to the needs of his students and offers compassionate advice that allows them to succeed in challenging situations. He has actively engaged students in the OWU Connection through his participation in the Food Course Connection, Travel Learning courses, and Theory to Practice grants that challenge students to better understand the source, the economics, and impact of food on individuals and their cultures. One of his colleagues commented, "In all of my dealings with Chris that focus on teaching, I am struck by the intentionality and thoughtful self-reflection with which Chris approaches his course design and class implementation. While faculty members may tweak a course from year to year, Chris is not afraid to engage in major course overhauls if he believes the new format, approach, or content will serve his students better." One of the students commented, "Dr. Fink has been a great professor. He's very effective and always willing to help. He's always available to talk, whether it is about class or just about anything." It's a pleasure to present this award to Dr. Christopher Fink.
Next award, the Bishop Herbert Welch Meritorious Teaching Award was established in 1962 by the New York Alumni Association to recognize outstanding Ohio Wesleyan faculty. Recipients are selected by the Faculty Personnel Committee based on distinguished service in teaching that has made a significant contribution to the academic climate at Ohio Wesleyan. Dr. Steinmetz will now come forward to present this year's recipient of the Bishop Herbert Welch Meritorious Teaching Award.
I'm happy to announce that the winner of the Welch Award for Teaching is Dr. Bradley Trees, the Richardson Lineback Professor of Physics and Astronomy. Dr. Trees, please join me on the podium.
That was sneaky.
Dr. Trees, today you are receiving an award for excellence in teaching from a faculty that excels in shaping the minds and lives of students. This is a considerable accomplishment, not easily attained, and one that should fill you with great pride. Dr. Trees' colleagues describe his teaching as very well respected and liked by his students. This must be due at least in part to his fair treatment of students, his genuine interest in their welfare, and his strengths as an effective collaborator. Dr. Trees has played a pivotal role in extending student learning beyond the regular academic year by helping to secure funding, administer, and participate in NSF REU program that has provided mentored research opportunities for Ohio Wesleyan students as well as students from across the nation. The department student board wrote of Dr. Trees, "After taking classes with Dr. Trees, students often find themselves comparing every other professor to him. His lectures are almost artistic. From his color-coded chalk diagrams to his beautifully labeled outlines, Dr. Trees delivers something akin to how one could picture a perfect lecture. It is my great pleasure to present this award to Dr. Bradley Trees. Well done.
The Adam Poe Medal was established in 1953 and is named in honor of the minister of William Street Methodist Episcopal Church, who gathered signatures and financial pledges for the founding of Ohio Wesleyan. The Adam Poe Medal is presented to OWU faculty members and administrators in recognition of their long and valued service to the university at the time of their retirement. A personalized biography of this year's recipient is included in your commencement program. Dr. Bart Martin, in recognition of her 31 years of service, will you please present Professor Karen Fryer for presentation of the Adam Poe Medal? Congratulations, Karen. Thank you for all you've done. Now it is my very great honor to introduce our distinguished guest speaker to offer words of advice and inspiration to the graduating class of 2017. Here at OWU, we talk about global citizenship. When our students graduate, they'll be living in culturally diverse communities and working in markets that grow more global every day. The global marketplace and global society are dynamic, complex, and at times volatile. It takes special skills and character to succeed there. It requires moral leadership and global awareness. Mr. Andres Duarte is such a moral leader for this global society. Andres came to Ohio Wesleyan from his home country of Venezuela in 1961, a time when OWU and our nation were on the cusp of great social change. He was here in Merrick Hall when his mineralogy class learned that President Kennedy had been assassinated. He was here to see the first baby boomers begin flooding the campus, and as he neared graduation, he saw his classmates going to war in Vietnam. Here at OWU, Andreas double majored in geology and economics, and after graduating, he went on to earn a Master of Science degree in geology from the University of Oklahoma, and then in 1968, studied at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University. A lifelong learner, he returned to school years later and earned his Master of Arts degree in International Affairs from the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University in 2009. Andreas returned to his home country and has been a leader in helping the Venezuelan economy grow, prosper, and build international trade and connections. In 1977, he created Duarte Vivas and Associates, initially focusing on commodity brokerage and trading, representation of foreign countries, and consulting. More than 30 years later, Duarte Vivas and Associates is now a focal point for entrepreneurial activity in Venezuela. 8 years ago, he teamed up with 1996 OWU graduate Gustavo Vollmer, who is here this weekend, to create Luzar Trading Company with offices in Colombia, Bolivia, Panama, and Miami. In Venezuela, he's a member of the board of directors of Banco Venezolano de Credito and the Venezuelan Petroleum Chamber. He is past president of the British Chamber of Commerce, Venezuela, and a director of the British School in Caracas. Since 1991, he has served as Consul General in Venezuela of the Philippine Republic, and his many honors and awards include a 2016 proclamation signed by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, naming him an officer of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. Andreas has also been utterly loyal and generous to his alma mater. He served on our Board of Trustees for a decade and became a life trustee in 2006. He's a member of the Alumni Advisory Board for our Voltimati Center for Economics, Business, and Entrepreneurship. He's created an endowed fund to support travel learning experiences through the OWU Connection, and he's provided scholarships to help dozens of students follow his steps from Venezuela to Delaware, Ohio. Not once but twice, he's even brought internationally renowned dance troupes from South America to perform on our campus. In 2015, Andreas was awarded an OWU Distinguished Achievement Citation, recognizing his professional achievements and skills as a business developer. Andreas is also an adventurous and durable athlete, having completed the New York City Marathon 6 times in the 1980s. He is beloved by his classmates, admired by his colleagues, and treasured by his fellow countrymen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed honor to introduce our speaker, Andreas Duarte.
Good afternoon. It's kind of scary. I am deeply honored to be here with you, President Jones, member of the faculty and administration, families and guests, and especially with the graduating class of 2017. Thank you very much for giving me that honor. It really does feel good to be back in Ohio, especially in a condition like this one. I first walked onto this campus in 1961, not entirely knowing what I was getting into. I had spent 12 years in a Jesuit school in Venezuela and 1 year in a boarding school in Connecticut, learning English. After high school, I had been accepted to attend a school up the road called Northwestern University. However, one of my uncles, who was a teacher at Northwestern, said, where are you going? I said, I'm going there. And he said, why don't you go to Ohio Wesleyan? I was a visiting teacher there for a while. So all of a sudden, I ended up going to Wesleyan. 2 phone calls later, and I was a student here. Being a late arrival, I was assigned to a second-floor room in East Selby. Selby Stadium, we call it sometimes. We had to baptize it as the low-rent district. Seeing that we had to walk or bicycle across the stadium and Sandusky Street every day for meals. During my first days at Ohio Wesleyan, September 61, I had some pretty interesting and unexpected experiences. My very first class was English, and things looked different than they did today, than they did at my Jesuit school in Venezuela. For one, I saw that none of the other 9 students that I was in class with were wearing a jacket and a tie. I was the only one. Then, when the professor walked in about 5 minutes late, I was the only student who immediately stood up from my chair. I was there for about 15 seconds with the professor writing on the blackboard. Finally, he turned around to me and said, "You must be a foreign student. Sit down." Amen for that one. Early that year, I had to learn about wearing a dink. A dink amounted to a small rounded baseball cap without a bill, and all freshman fraternity pledges had to wear a dink. The dink was compulsory for the first semester. I wore mine for several days and then decided not to wear it again. You'd understand why if you saw how horrible it looked on us. The next day, I was caught by sophomores and taken to the sulfur springs just behind here, and I was given a bath of sulfurized water. From there on, during the first term, I even wore the dink in my sleep. It was a different time, but as I said, we had fun. We had a lot of fun. My father told me that my first 4 years of college would probably be the most happiest days of my life, and I was beginning to realize that. Unfortunately, my 4 years at OWU also coincided with a compulsory draft in the Vietnam War. By the time I graduated in '65, I left behind friends that served this nation and did not return from that war in Asia. I feel that they were with us here now, and I'd like to ask a member of your graduating class to join me here for a moment and read the names of those classmates of mine who never had the opportunity to come back to Ohio. Ashley Timms, a zoology and environmental science major, will be going into active duty in the U.S. Army and Air Defense Artillery Officer. I'm honored to have her read the names of my classmates.
William R. Ammon, Second Lieutenant, United States Marine Corps. Russell H. Cornish, Private First Class, United States Army Infantry. Michael D. DeCamp, Second Lieutenant, United States Army Infantry. Philip L. Gamble, Jr., Second Lieutenant, United States Army Infantry. Joseph P. Logan, Jr., First Lieutenant, United States Air Force.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashley. It's not every day that we have to talk about these things, but it is very important. We all feared going to Vietnam. As a student with two nationalities, U.S. and Venezuela, I thought I had two options. I could either run to Canada and lose my American citizenship, or stick it out here and wait for a call from Uncle Sam. I asked my father for guidance on that one. He had been a World War II Navy veteran, and it was at that time, the only time in my life, when he said to me, "Bub, that's one decision I cannot make for you." So I moved on to graduate school at Oklahoma University and recorded deferment. After earning my master's degree, I tried the same evasive action, as they called it, by doing additional non-degree studies at Northwestern, going back there. But I was drafted in 1968. Knowing that I had one bad eye from an accident at the age of 12, I had a detached retina from a BB shot. I prayed when undergoing physical exams at Fort Holabird, Maryland. After 2 days, I was officially classified 1Y. For those who do not know, that means that you're available for service under extreme emergency only. I was lucky it never happened. Nevertheless, 1968, that 1 year in Chicago for me had a big impact. The city was what I call nowadays a lockdown state, with riots fueled by assassinations of Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, and then to top it all, the Democratic Party convention that brought some very, very tough days that year. Smoke bombs, gunshots, and police in riot gear was the order of the day. It was very scary for me. All this brought me home finally to find a job in my peaceful Venezuela at that time. Over the next 45 years and counting, I'm enjoying a rewarding career where I'm able to travel around the world, help build the economy of my home country, and raise a beautiful family. But things have changed in Venezuela. Back in the 60s, America was looking outward, across the oceans in the south of the Rio Grande. I remember the Peace Corps students that I met here from our country. One of them was Branch Rickey Jr., all working in the Peace Corps and in Venezuela. People in the USA trying to help others in the world with many education programs. Cultural exchange, helping other nations, and welcoming immigration was seen as a good and constructive way of life. We were really spreading democracy. I also remember my country, Venezuela, being earmarked as the worldwide example of fully operational democracy after the visit of President Kennedy to our country. Special programs for students were instituted to send massive amounts of Venezuelans to countries like the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, France, Germany, and Central Europe. Eventually, the Venezuelan government at that time approved sending a minimum of 5,000 students per semester abroad, or Venezuelan educational exports, as they were called. Plane load after plane load did their work. Owo was benefited by having 150 students come here. All of them came back to Venezuela, their motherland, to work. That makes a lot of sense. I had been part of this program. Venezuela also knew the benefits of immigration. In the years of World War II, the leaders of Venezuela opened the nation to immigration from Europe. And by the 1960s, 12% of all Venezuelans were immigrants from Spain, Portugal, Italy, and elsewhere in Europe, mostly Central Europe. Also, throughout the 70s and the 80s, we had an open door policy for immigrants from countries like Cuba, Chile, and Argentina, which at that time had been going through the same difficult and political times that we are going right now. Nowadays, life is very different in Venezuela. Today, Venezuela is a dictatorship. It's rapidly becoming a failed state. Despite a country being blessed, or maybe it's cursed, by oil, we tumbled down from being one of the top 5 world producers in the world in the 60s to the present situation of a country where people dig through trash for food. That cannot fulfill its financial obligations and exports of petroleum, iron ore, aluminum, gold, and other resources. We have it, but we don't know how we can do it. Venezuela is also running up huge debts, and now at the point of being the only oil producer in the world, defaulting on many of its obligations. The country now has the highest inflation in the world, 600%. This has brought constant currency devaluation, increased poverty, and crime. All Venezuelans now live in fear. The ineffective government and violence have frightened the population. and people are fleeing. An aggressive government and the violence have started the coercion to prevent us from having any opportunity to leave. We have now lost something between 3 to 5% of our population. That's about 1.5 million people. Of course, most of the leaving are educated citizens, and that aggravates our economic problems. For a month now, Venezuelan streets have erupted into a massive protest demanding a return to democracy. 41 persons have so far been killed in 1 month, mostly your age, in the early 20s, during these peaceful protests. It's not funny. I remain hopeful for the future, since history tells us that these situations eventually end. In fact, in the latter part of the 20th century in the Americas, a number of autocracies came and went. But our way through these very hard times, and to prevent them from happening again, we need one important resource: more educational systems that produce citizens with a broad knowledge base and a global perspective. From what I hear and read about Ohio's Wesleyan today, you have now acquired that broad global education. In all education environments, I hear of 2 important concepts much more frequently now, with your class in particular, than when I was here as a student. The first is interdisciplinary education, and the second is theory into practice. I see great merits in students studying subjects from multiple perspectives and disciplines, mixing theory with practice and nurturing an open mind on all decisions. I had once a professor who graduated from a university, well known, with a degree of computer science. And he started by saying, when I graduated at the age of 16, and people asked, were you in high school? He said, no, college. Then he went to law school and received a law degree at 19 years old. And 2 years after being an Air Force pilot in the Korean War, he went back to school and received a PhD from MIT at the age of 23. All this, degrees in computer science, law, and mathematics led us to believe, asking him, what are you really? And he said, I'm a problem solver. This is the great skill of somebody who studies the liberal arts. This is one of the skills that futurist Alvin Toffler had in mind when he said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. I majored in geology and minored in economics. It was the ability to blend those 2 fields that shaped my career. I studied geology because I wanted to become involved in the oil business, and the economics link helped me very much as I moved into a business world that easily opened up for me. I have always been a person who did not follow the old advice that says, do one thing right and not 2 things wrong. In my country, economic changes within democratic practices were almost constant. For me to concentrate day to day and night in one project and see it disappear due to changes in government policy or law was not a smart approach. I did the opposite, and I still follow those principles which have served me well. My advice: be open to change and learn how to thrive in it. Be very flexible. It will give you the edge out there. And remember what you learned about applying theory to a world where practice is becoming disciplinary. It's going to become rewarding and necessary. During these past 4 years, your OWU Connection education has helped you connect theory with real-world practice in a global context. You have honed the ability to think conceptually through interdisciplinary and intercultural reasoning. Now you stand on this great foundation of knowledge and experience, and you're ready to live up to a great obligation, to live up to the potential that resides in each of you. There is great need here and around the world for the kind of skills and the work that you have been prepared to do. Today, we've seen the rise of inward-focused nationalist and populist movements from both the political right and political left. Those movements have arisen democratically, and they're influencing the economic, political, and social world that you are entering in. These are new challenges that will require action from your generation, nothing else. As Spanish intellectual Ramon y Cajal once said, ideas don't last very long. You have to do something with them. I know you can be moral leaders of action, so think about this as you start to lead. And now, as I say goodbye and wish you well on the journey you start today, I want to give you one special gift from the 50-odd-some-odd years ago. When I first set foot on this campus, I had no idea that this place would come to mean so much to me at this time. But your Ohio Wesleyan friends and experiences have this way of staying with you forever. I can be halfway around the world, and I think back to my Ohio Wesleyan years, and I smile. And then invariably, this certain song from a musical, Wonderful Town, starts running through my brain. And I hear it over and over. It was a popular musical of the 50s and the 60s, and this song, to me, perfectly captures the feeling that you have about Ohio Wesleyan when you're far away. And it's an earworm that I can't get rid of. You, my friends, will not get rid of it either. So now, as my gift to the class of 2017, I'm going to pass along this earworm for you to treasure when you're missing Old Wood in the years ahead. Here to help me are two members of your graduating class, Colette Siddle, Melody Smith. Now it's all them. That was really beautiful. I do want to say one thing. Dr. Jones said earlier in the day, this day is yours. I just want to say to the girls and Dr. Jones and the people here, you made my day. This has been very, very constructive day in a class of 2017. I know what I said, you can all do it. Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye.
Andreas, we are deeply grateful for your presence with us. As I said to the graduates earlier, today you join the ranks of engaged citizens who are alumni of Ohio Wesleyan University. And as you take your place within those ranks, you are prepared for moral leadership in a global society. We have no idea what that society will require of you over the next 5 decades. But you could have no better exemplar for that leadership than Andreas Duarte. Andreas, thank you. Now, as we recognize the achievements of the Ohio Wesleyan class of 2017, I call on Ms. Shelley McMahon, University Registrar, to present the candidates for degrees in course.
this one. Is that working? Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you. On behalf of the faculty and Board of Trustees of the university, I have the honor to present these candidates as duly qualified to receive the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and under the laws of the state of Ohio, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts, with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Ms. McMahon will present the individual candidates as they come forward to receive their diplomas.
Kristen Elise Kanda, magna cum laude. Anne Lee Edwards, cum laude. Sophia Louise Goodpasture, cum laude. Wyatt Michael Hall. Sharon Elizabeth Hayes, magna cum laude. Alexis Hogan Emmerman, cum laude. Emily Ann Lee. Tanisha Renee Murphy, cum laude. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Music please rise? On behalf of the faculty and Board of Trustees of the university, I have the honor to present these candidates as duly qualified to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and under the laws of the state of Ohio, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Music, with all of the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. The candidates will please come forward.
Liam Brotherton Keller. Colette Kristen Siddle, magna cum laude. Melody Ann Smith, cum laude. Bryson William Tarbett. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please rise? On behalf of the faculty and Board of Trustees of the university, I have the honor to present these candidates as duly qualified to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and under the laws of the state of Ohio, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, with all of the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. The candidates will please come forward.
Ifa Ahmed Abdul Jalil. Jamil Saeed Ahmed. Kadra Ayan Mursal Ahmed. Cecilia Mary Albin.
Oh, yeah.
Leslie Ann Alton. Brittany Renee June Andiers. Caroline Rose Anderson, magna cum laude. Blake Martin Andrews. Haley Paige Antonucci. Amanda Elizabeth Apicella, Arena Aurora. Alicia Latera Austin. William Boardman Babcock. Elise Duncan Bear, cum laude. Kimberly Lauren Bayonne. Beth Ann Barnes, cum laude. Amanda Rose Berry, cum laude. Eric Allen Bachman, summa cum laude. Daud Boss. Dana Alice Beach, cum laude. Emma May Beal, cum laude. Andrea Nicole Beavers. Emily Jean Beacon. Jillian Marie Bell. Jennifer Grace Marie Bennett. Brendan, in absentia. Brendan Cole Betts. In absentia. Cecily Ann Bickler. Adrian Allen Bishop. Erin Kathleen Boudiker, cum laude. Carly Sandra Bondelier, summa cum laude. Faith Nicole Borland. Amanda Lee Boyle. Christopher Patrick Brennett, summa cum laude.
I did not stop.
Gary Joseph Brodick II. Brianna Catherine Brown. Eric Dennis Bryant. Emerson Lane Buckland. James Joseph Burgess. Ryan Hostler Burkholder. Brian Constantine Burnett II. Caitlin Elizabeth Burton Dooley. Samantha Alana Cacciatore. Mary Catherine Kasia, cum laude. Akil Gabrielle Lewis Caldwell. Jordan Kelly Carlson, cum laude. Lauren Ariel Carter. Candace Jordan Chinelli, cum laude. Jeanette Chang. Rachel Christine Charles. Jessica Lynn Cheadle, magna cum laude. Jessica Ruth Choate, cum laude. Joseph Thomas Chiquillo. Alyssa Nicole Clark, summa cum laude. Devon Martell Cliver, in absentia. William Columba Klein III. Mallory Alexis Cochran. Eugene Michael Coleman Jr. Gabriela Isabel Colmenares. Sarah Elizabeth Conley. Peter Gregory Cook, cum laude. Justin Craig Copley. Tiona Lachey Council. Allison Lee Coy. Sierra Marie Crisanto, magna cum laude. Daniel Russell Kring. In absentia, Zachary Michael Krofchuk. Spencer Austin Cromwell. Michael Spencer Crum. Robert Lewis Crum. Loren Rachel Cutshaw. Allison Sydney Dawson. Taylor Janine Day, cum laude. Forrest Edward Deering, cum laude. Nathaniel Clinton Dedek. Nicholas Vincent Deem. Megan Elizabeth Dieter. Jenna Lynn DeFranco. Allison Margaret DeLuce, magna cum laude. Yimei Dawn, cum laude. Tyler Michael DeVitas. Tracina Pilar Des Munoz. Taylor Nicole Dixon, cum laude. Aria Kylie Dockham. Douglas Raymond Doddridge. Aletta Merrick Doran. Melanie Jean DeWaco, cum laude. Douglas Raymond Doddridge. In absentia, Courtney Diane Dunn, excuse me, Courtney. Michael Brian Casby Durfee, cum laude.
Miss Kelsey Duncan.
Kelsey Duncan. Sorry about that, Kelsey. Congratulations. Anna Carolyn Eames, summa cum laude. Kayla Ashley Eggleston. Jessica Emily Ellis. Rosa Marie Escobar. Jude Mohammed Fahum, cum laude. Benjamin James Farinowski, cum laude. Logan J. Finley. Darby Jane Fisher, cum laude. Isabella Antoinette Flibit. Caitlin Elizabeth Foster, cum laude. Sarah Renee Fowler, cum laude. David Joshua Fradkin. Natalie Ray French, cum laude. Elikim Gadzikbo. Lauren Krista Gagney. Jillian Jane Gamble. Christopher John Joseph Gardius. Paige Rebecca Gardner. Kelly Susanna Garvin, cum laude.
Not mine.
Let's go up there. Oh, not yours. Good try.
Paige should be called Paige.
Paige Rebecca Gardner. Just get out of order. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Kelly Susanna Garvin, cum laude. Let me get your picture. Michael Paul Gaddis. Kelly Nicole Geck. Emily Rose George, cum laude. William Thomas George. Massa Gassab.
Elisa Sloan Geruso, cum laude. Joshua Houston Gibson, magna cum laude. Brooks Christian Gilmore. Jade Giordani. John Thomas Gluth III. Brian Joshua Goldauber. Taylor J. Golden, cum laude. Lisette Gonzalez. Brenda Gonzalez Santiano. Akil Galid Goodridge. Grayson Andrew Goodwin. Mariama Lurleen Goodwin. Richard Kendall Gordon. Connor Patrick Green. Rachel K. Gress. Jeremy Alexander Griffin Jackson, cum laude. Jonathan Birch Griggs, cum laude. Casey Charlene Gurwitz. Tatiana Denina Haddad. Lydia Clarice Hall. Caroline Ruth Hamilton, magna cum laude. Rowan Eva Hannon, magna cum laude. Cynthia Holly Hastings. Truman Mitchell Haycock. Zhuzhou He. Ross Michael Hickenbottom. Mariah Madison Hicks. Nicole Catherine Hill. Sarah Elizabeth Hollabaugh. Jen May Holm. Brody Michael Horner. Abigail Kerr Horvat. Jackson Leverett Hotaling, cum laude. G. Lynn Tu. Tyler Ryan Ifland. Carlos Giassi Jackson. Elizabeth Ann Page Jackson. Woody Alexander Jamil. Lucas Michael Janowitz. Ridge A. Johnson. Samantha Nicole Johnson. Christopher Maxwell Jordan. Hirang Jung. Shabeb Sami Kabir. Ruchi Kansal. Zachary Allen Katona. Evan Samuel Katz. Gabrielle Abraham Kaufman. Max David Kearns, Jr. Sajad Hossein Khan. Brett Michael Kaiser. Zachary Nathan Kleiss. Jillian Michelle Nepshield. Charles Richard Hayden Nicely. Jacqueline Taylor Noble. Adil Kohari. Megan Marie Keeter, cum laude. Angela Noel Landrum. Haley Marie Langhorn. Holly Marie Latiman, magna cum laude. Olivia Kirsten Leese. Lee Pierce LaBeouf. Dylan Chase Leffingwell. Keaton Thomas Leplaw. Kimberly Kelsey Liang. J. Graham Littlehale, magna cum laude. James Lawrence Litzler. Zhaoshu Nikki Liu. Dahlia Mobilia Lorenzo. Darcy Christine Lovasek, cum laude. Lindsay Lee Lown, summa cum laude. Ai Liang Lu. Yingling Ma. Robin Joe Madrishan, cum laude. Matthew Carey Mayer. Jacob Thomas Mackey. Basil Peter Malamus. Paul David Males III. Rebecca Denisha Manning. Larice Lene Marston. Leonardo Marcellus Mason, Jr. Paul David Matek. Ashley Susan McAdam. Liam Francis McAvoy. Mallory Marie McCorkle. Jacqueline Viesa McCormick. Mallory Elizabeth McCormick, magna cum laude. Caitlin Marie McCracken. Ryan Patrick McCrone. Reginald Sebastian McGinnis Hemphill. Emily Taylor McKenzie. Alyssa K. McKinney, cum laude. Liam Paul McNulty, cum laude. Colin Patrick McShane. Catherine Rose Meckler, cum laude. Matthew Jamar Meek. Matthew Kyle Mahaffey, magna cum laude. Dominic Joseph Mejia, summa cum laude. Elissa Ryan Mendez. Omar Mendez. Joanna Sarah Beth Meyer, magna cum laude. Mia Cristina Minguela. Austin Nicholas Menick, cum laude. Christian Bernardo Miranda, in absentia. Grace Alexandra Mitchner. Vasilia Stephanie Mizas. Anderson Stephen Molina. Isabella Zabuki Moore. Michael Stephen Mora Brennis, cum laude. Rachel Carolina Morley, summa cum laude. Kelsey Ann Morrison. Jocelyn Lizette Munoz. James Brian Murphy. Diana Jasmine Musina, magna cum laude. George Webb Nesbitt. Nicholas Stephen Norman, summa cum laude. Emma Maria Nuidi, cum laude. Jonathan William Oberschlake. Kaisa Anna Matilda Olson. Elizabeth Claire O'Keefe. James Peter Ormerod. Dominic Anthony Orsini. Madeline Lee Oslasik. Justin Martin Overhauls, cum laude.
William Glessner Paul IV. Connor Scott Payne. Evan Thomas Payne. Kristen Renee Payne, summa cum laude. Kayla Nicole Pelham. Ji Ping, magna cum laude. Emily Ann Phillips. Elena Maria Plazolas Hayes. Marlene Jasmine Polio. Emily K. Poulter, magna cum laude. Dana Ehrlich Poppy. Richard Connor Potier. Madeline Marie Presley Wolf. David Freeman Pugh. Joshua Taylor Piles, cum laude. Munir Tariq Kadora. Carter Lewis Ray. Misha Babur Rafiq. Sarim Rafim. Shamaita Rahman. Hannah Baker Rawlings. Bridget Catherine Reddy, cum laude. Natalie Marie Reddy, cum laude. Kiani Wren. Chandler Michael Rendell. Elisa Danielle Reinsmith. Elisa Carolyn Richter, magna cum laude. Orvija Rishi. Margaret Lois Roars, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Rooney. Mariel Elizabeth Ross. Kevin Jeffrey Rossi. Stephanie Leah Rosa. Hector Emilio Rudia. Megan Erica Ryan, cum laude. Sharik Arif Sadiq. Meme Salazar Rodriguez. Khadija Salman. Nicole Page Sansek. Alan Jacob Sanders. Douglas George Sanders. Jessica Claire Sanford, magna cum laude. Haley Genevieve Savoy. Kelly Madeline Claire Shady. Kayla Marie Schaffhausen. Anna Claire Schluter. Matthew Brian Schultz. Allison Marie Schumacher. Samuel Allen Shore. Samila Medai. Jasim Yosef Shabazz. Timothy David Shadone. Sharif Ali Shah. Shashank Sharma. Solomon Mark Shepard. Bianca Teresa Sibley. Blaine Cyrus Sickles, cum laude. Benjamin Hugo Simpson. Jacob Hawkins Simpson, magna cum laude. Amanda Michelle Sizzler, cum laude. Busilis Rokas Schlupas. Andrew Curran Smith, magna cum laude. Chase Montana Smith, cum laude. Evan Charles Snap. Juliana Joyce Snyder. Victor Lars Soder. John Robert Sotos, cum laude. Sydney Suzanne Spots. Juliana Paige Springhetti. Jessica Joy Stanek, magna cum laude. Donald Philip Stevens. Andrew Jeffrey Stock, cum laude. Quentin Emery Stokes Brown. Aaron Robert Strausbaugh, cum laude. Mariah Ann Strausbaugh. Samuel Wakely Stull. Julia Margaret Sturgill, cum laude. Virginia Isabel Smith Sturgill, cum laude. Kelly Veronica Summers, cum laude. Xiaoween Sun. Miriam Sally Sundling. Kasim Ali Said. Yojiao Tan, cum laude. Patrick George Tang, magna cum laude. David Dao Hikong Tangabu, in absentia. Curtis James Taylor. Nathan Allen Thompson. Ashley Jean Timms. Derek James Todd. Mason Craig Tomlin, cum laude. Summer Carol Tompkins, magna cum laude. Sabrina Nicole Toy, magna cum laude. Eric Victor Chitterer. Vanessa Diane Van Biesen. Corey Michael Vandeveld. Devern Robert Van Winkle. Mario Anthony Veza. John Anderson Walden. Haley Nell Walls, magna cum laude. Evan Barry Walsh. Sky Anna Wonstroth, summa cum laude. Patrick Michael Watson. Catherine Fern West. Alec Austin Wyneth. Alexander Jonathan Widman. Andrew David Wiggum. Miranda Faye Wild. Devon Jordan Williams. Morgan DeHart Williams. Trenton Marshall Williams. Neil Thomas Wilson II, cum laude. Kaylee Winston, cum laude. Mercedes Serenity Wood. Catherine Elizabeth Ara Warland. Thomas Stanley Worst. Susanna Mailing Wright. Sierra Lynn Wright Dove. Wei Wei Wu. Natalie Francis Wynn. Madeline Janelle Yanoff. Peter Okuda Yoshida. Desiree Christian Young, magna cum laude. Yiling Yu. Julianne Christine Zala, cum laude. Emma Elise Zangrando, magna cum laude. Elder Emil Zanaloff. Ryan Bishop Christoph Zlatanov. Raja Kayim Zubair.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio Wesleyan class of 2017. We have a few more recognitions and then a word from the class. I'd like to ask all of the students graduating cum laude to please rise. Thank you. And will all students graduating magna cum laude please rise? Laude. And will all students graduating summa cum laude please rise? In addition, 3 of members of this year's graduating class completed their academic careers at Ohio Wesleyan with a remarkable grade point average of 4.0. I'd like to ask these students to please stand so we can recognize you for your outstanding academic performance. Eric Allen Bachman. Christopher Patrick Brennick. And Nicholas Stephen Norman. It is customary at Ohio Wesleyan that the senior class president offers remarks and an expression of gratitude on behalf of the class. Senior class president Lee LaBeouf is a psychology major and biology minor from Dayton, Ohio. Lee's been deeply involved in many facets of campus life. She played field hockey, was president of the President's Club, and is a member of Kappa Alpha Theta. She's a leadership fellow, and she's been a resident assistant. She's taken full advantage of the OWU connection, taking travel learning, organic chemistry class in Germany, among other activities. After graduation, Lee will be joining the highly competitive Teach for America program, where she will be teaching elementary school in Cleveland for 2 years. Then she plans to attend graduate school. I am proud to present one of Ohio Wesleyan's newest alumni, senior class president, Lee LaBeouf.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Hello. On a Thursday afternoon in January, I was sitting in the library alone, procrastinating on assignments I no longer remember doing, let alone turning in. And as anyone with anxiety for the future does, I was looking at my calendar, trying to convince myself I had more time on campus, more time to get my life together, and more time to waste worrying about how much time I had. I began to panic. I think people underestimate how nice of a place for panic the library is. You can panic quietly on the 3rd floor. You can panic loudly on the second floor with all your friends who also came to the library to panic. Or you can panic at whatever volume you want in the poorly lit 24-hour section under the cover of darkness. Thursday was my designated panic day because I didn't have class, so I could panic all day long. And I was in the middle of my traditional Thursday afternoon panic when a new panic set in. My days, all of our days on this campus, were numbered. I flipped through my planner and wished for more pages between January and May. I marked May 13th for what I feared it was, not a celebration, but doomsday. Doomsday in the form of uncertainty, ignorance, and the fear of both. The doomsday of the unknown and the unfamiliar. The unfamiliar is hard to handle because as a senior, I can't imagine an inch of the OWU bubble I don't know. I know which professors teach the hardest courses, even in departments I've never set foot in. I know exactly who on campus can't read the quiet zone signs on the third floor of the library. I know almost everyone's romantic history. I know there is no safe time of day to buy tampons at the Thompson store without running into everyone I know. And I know how to get onto the roof of a surprising number of university buildings. I know this bubble. I know how to succeed in it, how to manage an over-involved and over-committed schedule, and even how to have fun in the process. But when I think about the next chapter of my life, which will begin in approximately 6 minutes, I'm overwhelmed by the details I don't know. I don't know how to make friends without the shared experience of being both the opposite of ordinary and hungry all the time. I don't know how to contribute meaningfully to a community larger than 1,600 people. And I especially don't know how to make my own dinner, but I'm still confident my cooking will be better than what I've been eating for the last 4 years. Most of all, I don't know how to cope with not knowing. And it's taken me 4 years to realize that that's okay. I would guess 1% of the coming years can be neatly organized in a planner the way assignments can be. I have absolutely no idea what I'll be doing this time, next year, next month, next week. And before, that would have scared me more than an OChem final. But today, we, are all getting an expensive piece of paper verifying that we know how to learn. After today, we'll step into a life with endless opportunities for continued learning. The things we must learn are no longer bound on what might appear on a final. We can fill our time with things other than papers and exams. We can learn how to meaningfully impact a community greater than 1,600 people. Most importantly, we can learn to seek the answers to the unknown by ourselves, without the help of our brilliant and dedicated professors. The piece of paper we are receiving today isn't validating how much we've learned, but rather assuring us that we have the capacity to learn so much more. It is embracing the unknown and feeling comfort in endless questioning that will determine our success after Ohio Wesleyan. We have to keep learning. We owe it not only to ourselves, but to all the people we have yet to meet, but have the opportunity to influence. Only 6.7% of the world is college educated. 6.7%. We are a minority and hold immense power by virtue of our education, and our work is just beginning. Graduating college is an achievement, and we should be proud, but it's what we do next that matters. The choices we make and the questions we ask. It is only through our commitment to know more, by admitting how little we know, that we will eventually influence something greater than ourselves. So thank you, Ohio Wesleyan, for teaching me in the last 4 years that I don't know a thing. But I know how to ask questions, and that's nothing to panic about. I would like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite people, the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am driven by two main philosophies: know more today about the world than I knew yesterday, and lessen the suffering of others. You'd be surprised how far that gets you. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
And now, graduates, these final words. If here at Ohio Wesleyan you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If here at Ohio Wesleyan you have found peace, go and share it with others. If here at Ohio Wesleyan you have found some portion of truth, go and seek it all the more. If here at Ohio Wesleyan you have dreamed dreams, help one another, and those dreams may come true. If here at Ohio Wesleyan you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. May you, the Ohio Wesleyan University graduates of 2017, be as proud of yourselves and your accomplishments as we are of you. Now I invite Catherine Koshin to return to the stage and all of you to stand for the singing of our alma mater. As the ceremony comes to end, I invite the graduates in the platform party to remain standing and others to be seated for the closing and then for the recessional, and you can greet your graduates as the recessional ends. Ohio Wesleyan was established 175 years ago, and from the time of its founding, academic years have marked the opening and closing of each year by the ringing of a bell. This is the bell that marked the opening of the first academic year at Ohio Wesleyan in 1842. I am told that it rang in 1842. I have no evidence. Today it clanks. But in a moment I will ring the bell marking the completion of this academic year, the 175th academic year in the Ohio Wesleyan University, and bringing to a close these commencement exercises. Congratulations, class of 2017.